What's up, guys? Here is my Losi brushless mini rally, or micro rally, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, it's got mini SCT tires. Take out the shell. And I'm missing the top plate, which is sort of bad, but it'll be going back on very soon. But there's a couple of reasons for that, and I'll get into that in just a second. But I got an aluminum spur in here, since the plastic one was all nicked up. It needs a new spur. I mean a new pinion gear. It's all chipped up as well. I was finding the motor was flopping around a lot, so I have a mini JST connector shoved in there to kind of give it a good gap, give it a good mesh. I mean, yes, I don't judge on that ghetto fix, but maybe I need an upgraded mount or something. But yeah, it was flopping around too much for my liking, so, and I think that was part of the reason for that. So, for not stripping, but chipping it. Yeah, so, but the disadvantage of having the top plate off is the servo really isn't mounted. It just sits in there. It kind of supports on the top plate, so that needs to go back in at some point, because if you hit something now, it'll just pop right off. And yeah, and then you have to get it all lined back up on the steering rack. But yeah, that doesn't really matter. Anyway, we got toys top links, so you can adjust the camber, which is kind of cool. Go all rally style and flip them in. Pull them in. I think these are GPM caster blocks. Not a needed upgrade, but the top links I kind of wanted to get because they were kind of cool. It'd be cool to have the adjustability, but the C-hubs were not needed at all. The tires, I replaced it because the previous owner had a bent stub axle, and the wheel was actually bent. So, and these were like $6, so why not? And the rally ones were closer to 10, so, and they have a cool bead lock. I'm not sure if it's a real functional one, but I don't think so, but it still looks cool. And then back here we got I believe a GPM tower, rear shock tower. And then we've also got Dean's connectors, full size. I need to get micro Dean's, and we've got I think it's a 3,000. I mean a 300. I'm sorry, I'm so used to my big lipos. 300 mAh lipo. I mean, this is not a needed upgrade. This thing's stupid fast. It could do with way less, to say the least. The car is wicked fast. I mean, I can't even put it into words. I mean, I'll make a video someday of it once I get the micro Deans put on here, do a proper micro Dean setup, and get the top plate back on there. And get a but anyway, I'm gonna do my review on it really quick. What does the car need? Absolutely pretty much nothing. Speaking of micros, I own a micro T which I can grab. This is really kind of a ghetto video, but you know, kind of modded. But you buy these things new. They're $79, and they're very limited. You have 27 megahertz radio. You don't need the brushless motor, but I mean, you spend $80 on this. You want to buy the brushless motor, that's like $50. You want to buy the 3-wire servo conversion kit, I think it's like $20, $15 to get a servo. And then you've also got to get a receiver. So, put that in there, food for thought. And before that, you don't even have bearings yet or threaded axles. So you got C-clips to pop the axle on and off, pop the wheels on and off. Which of these you'll be doing a lot more than you think, because you'll get hair stuck in them. But also you have the bearings, which are an absolute needed upgrade, in my opinion. So yeah, you've got bearings and you've got threaded axles. That puts you probably $20-25 for that. You got a motor kit. Let's just say you want it. It's $50. You gotta get a 3-wire servo, which is $15 or $20, and you still gotta get a radio for it. So let's say you get an axial radio, which would have a small receiver that would sort of fit in here, like this. This is an orange RX. You're talking $20-25. So what does that put you up to? Do you guys do the math? It doesn't make sense. And this has got multiple other upgrades as well, but they're not all needed. This needs nothing. You buy a brushless one, they're $149, ready to run, you're good to go. That's it. That's all you have to do. You don't need any of this stuff I have. All this stuff I have is personal upgrades I've chosen, not because you need any of it. That's it. End of story. This is the better deal in my opinion, right out of the box, and it's bigger. Take it from somebody who owns both. Buy this one. It'll save you money in the long term. It's faster. It's 4-wheel drive. This is only 2-wheel drive too. This will do a little better in a parking lot. This will not. I mean, the list goes on. These are fun, tons of fun. I doubt I'll ever get rid of my Micro T. They're just a ton of fun, but they're two-wheel drive. It's just very limited, and it costs a lot more to get the same performance out of the both. And you're still, I mean, two-wheel drive inside, that's fine, but four-wheel drive, really? What are you gonna pick? And it's got the bearings, the threaded axles, brushless motor. Like I said, I mean, you're gonna probably be close to $200 with this to get it to the same spot, and you're still only two-wheel drive, and you're still smaller, which is good and bad. And it's not that much bigger that you shouldn't be able to run it in your house or apartment, but it's big enough where it makes a difference everywhere else. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but the difference in size is, I mean, it's very negligible, I suppose you could say, but I don't know. Personally, if I were to do it all over again, I never would have bought this. It's a ton of fun. I spent way more money on it than I ever should have, when I could have just bought this in the first place, which I also traded for this, bear in mind. But when I could have just bought this in the first place, this is a much better car out of the box. And honestly, if you're the kind of person who's been buying your kids these little cheap Walmart grade RCs, this is what you need to buy them. 150 bucks out of the box, ready to go. These, you know, I have a unique situation where my house is built out of metal, and I have a lot of interference issues. Maybe in a normal wood construction house, and I apologize for that, and maybe in a normal wood construction house, this would be fine. But the 2700 MHz radio does not work in my house. It interferes, it glitches. I can't get 20, I don't even know. I can't even get this far without having some issues. That's probably over dramatizing that, but it's the truth. I mean, I get within a couple feet of it and it's already glitching. That's not unreasonable to ask for something like this to go a couple feet. I mean, this I can drive anywhere crazy far and I'm gonna be fine. Also, I think that I think you could almost bind a Spectrum receiver, I mean a Spectrum radio to this. Don't hold me on that, but I think you could. I'm pretty sure the radio is Spectrum powered and you could bind it up to a Spectrum radio, which is nice if you're already in RC. But yeah, honestly, if you're buying your kids a cheap Tyco, $100, not a lot cheap, but like buying $80, $50, $100, buy them this. 150 bucks, they can fix it themselves. I mean, you can, when their driving style goes up, you can upgrade it. You can drive it all inside. Now, obviously, if they're wanting a little more off-road and outside, then this is not for them. But if you're driving this in your apartment or in your house or whatever, dude, you're golden with this. And these things are fun. You get a couple of these out with some friends or your family, and you get a couple, maybe. These, that's also another thing where I should make a quick comment. 27 megahertz, you're limited to different channels, and you cannot all run the same channel. They'd all be going the same way. So, you're going to want, if you're going to plan on getting more than one at all anyway, buy this. Now, bear in mind, they do make the 1/24th in 27 megahertz and brushed. You don't want that. That's $109 to my knowledge. It's four-wheel drive, so I mean, if you were looking at buying this brush anyway and you're going to ignore my advice, you can get this and brushed 27 megahertz again for $109. So you need to decide if you're looking at brushed apples to apples. I'm not sure. This is kind of fun and probably more upgradable. But in my opinion, it's a better deal to get this and brushless. I'm making this way overcomplicated personally. Just buy this, and I'd recommend buying a couple of these things. Go out and race with your friends and have tons of fun. Quit thinking about it. But if you're limited on money, then maybe try a brush version of one of these. But I'd go for this. This is $79 stock brushed. But you're still going to have, and that's really quick, if that you buy this and brushed, you're going to get threaded axles. You're going to get bearings and everything. So it's a better deal. Okay, I'm going to stop ranting. Buy what you want. They're both a ton of fun. I'd buy the Losi Micro Rally again. And this is a Micro T. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any more questions. Expect running videos soon. This is the one to buy. Just buy it right now. Quit listening to all my other advice. Just go buy it. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.